Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Accommodation Show. This week, I am joined by a new friend of the community, a new friend of mine. I am joined by Siddhi Mitall. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Bart. So excited to be here.
It is 10 p.m. for you, 9 a.m. for me. You're staying up to very late in the evening just to chat to me. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. There's nothing else I'd rather be doing.
Sure. Bit of sleep, eating something, having a drink. Look, it's been great. We talked last week about what you guys are doing at Y-Hangry, and kind of bonded and connected because there's a few things that really interest me. One is food. I feel that the food side of hospitality is probably the most exciting part, the most visually appealing part. And then you're bridging the gap between food and accommodation. So helping to get chefs into people's businesses or people's short-term rentals, and then creating experiences. So it's a real cool idea. It's a cool product. And I thought, I really have to get you onto the show so that we can have a little bit of a chat as to what you're doing and how you got to where you are with Y-Hangry. Is it Y-Hangry? Am I saying this correctly?
That is right. It's Y-Hangry. Some people say Yangry, but yes, why are you hungry if you can book a chef?
It depends on the day, right? Whether you're Yangry or hangry, right?
Exactly.
It all makes sense now. So amazing! Like you've had an incredible journey and an incredible story with your business. You've been on Dragon's Den. You were offered a bunch of money, which then kind of didn't materialize. You've raised money through the past, and you've been on a really great story. Just to start us off, really curious about you as a founder. Are you a solo founder, or have you been working with a team of people?
Oh my God, no. I have a co-founder who's amazing. Her name's Heinen. And yeah, both of us have done this together since day one. And I actually think, I'd find it very hard to do it by myself now that I have such a great partner.
Yeah, sure. And that was from the very beginning. How did you guys come up with the idea that we have right now? Now, I know that you weren't working in sort of that kind of experiences space for short-term rentals and that sort of thing. But when you first started the idea, did you know that you could be working with chefs and the product would kind of look more or less like it looks today, or how did the idea come to fruition?
Yeah, so I'm from India and my co-founder is actually like German Chinese, so China. And both of us coming from developing countries are used to cooks and or amazing food at home, which we don't cook ourselves. So the initial idea really was we knew restaurant hospitality workers are one of the lowest paid professions. And we knew customers, if they get this service at insane rates, will use it. But that's it. That was kind of the hunch we had in London when we started. And the idea was to build a platform. But when we started, oh my God, actually, there was no platform. We started with like pen and paper, PDF. And then we started sending it on WhatsApp to our colleagues. And we were like, here's the menu, buy a chef, order it, here's the price. So actually the platform was when we started, it was very lean, hacky. It was just like WhatsApp PDF. So it looked very, very different. And we've been through like loads of iterations. So that sort of ideas remain the same, but yeah, we've really iterated the platform. It was very different.
And so I'm going to do the introduction for the platform, so people can you can fill in the gaps if I get it wrong. And I've got a very rudimentary understanding, but basically with Y-Hangry, what we're doing is we're connecting consumers with top quality chefs. So if you want to get a chef to come around to your place and cook a gourmet meal for 2, 4, 6, 10, 50, then you would approach the Y-Hangry platform. They would have the vetted chefs that you can go and make a booking with. And so now this translates into offering this as a service to your guests in your accommodation. So, I imagine that wherever it is, they need a kitchen to be able to at least reheat the food. I think a microwave food wouldn't work, and some space to do it. So it's really great if you're if you're kind of in that boutique or luxury end of the market, or sort of mid-range of the market as well, you could offer this sort of a service or a product, and then you could match that product with your ideal customers. So your avatars that you're working with, then you say, all right, for couples, what kind of meals would be great, kind of unique experiences. How did I go? Is that a good enough explanation as to what Y-Hangry does, or did I miss something?
Are you available for hire? That was great. The two things I'll add to that is, I guess one is like a concrete example of the types of things people use us for. Birthdays or like a friend get together. So if 6+ people, that's like a very natural time to want to book something nicer
Mhm.
in your station. People book us for hen do's, stag do's, like that's a really big one. And actually, I just wanted to focus on the price point. So for a hen do, people are paying, let's say in America, $60 to $70 per person. That includes the chef, grocery cleanup, and all of that. And they split the bill with the group. One person's not like getting the whole thing. So it can be kind of like cost effective. Yeah,
Yeah,
on the other end.
amazing. Amazing. And I think it's a great idea, and it's something that I've been championing for a long time. I think you guys have been in business since 2022.
We actually launched in 2019 and through COVID, but really our operational year was 2021. Yeah.
Gotcha. So look, our journey started roughly about the same time, and when you were kind of incubating and getting this idea to market and finding your chefs and that sort of thing, um, at the time I was doing courses teaching people about upsells and how that was such a great addition in terms of what you for more profitability within your business, but also to create uniqueness. I had a lovely lady called Hazel Parker who used to work for TouchStay, still does, and she helped me sort of with the understanding of it, because what she would do is she would get a helicopter to come and land on her property, because she had a bit of like a field or wherever. They would come in the helicopter, pick you up, then take you to a winery, and then you go out with your partner, have some dinner or whatever, or some lunch, and then they'll helicopter you back to the property. Like, just really cool, unique experiences. Which and she was able to charge a massive premium on it and make really great money, and be the curator of that. And I think that that's where this kind of service is really great, that you can do an awful lot. But I'm gonna interrupt myself, because we've got a very short amount of time, and I want everybody who's listening, I want you to get to know Siddhi with what she's doing and the team are doing. But also, what I'm really curious about is that journey, that startup journey, which is very, very tough. And one of the things that you've already said was, when we started, we had the idea and we didn't need the technology at that thing. You were seeing whether this idea actually had market fit.
Yes,
Just
absolutely.
using spreadsheets and WhatsApp, you said. Tell
Yeah,
me, tell me about
yeah, I think like as a we had jobs in corporate. So obviously there was only a limited amount of time we could spend on the side testing our idea. And I think what we just knew is, in order to sort of have the confidence to leave our company ASAP, there has to be proof of concept. But building a website, getting sales, all of this takes a long time. So we just thought, how can we fake the product, which basically, as you said, is no technology, nothing, and just go out and find the customers first, see if there's demand. And that's what we kind of did. We initially validated demand because people were like, oh, I want to use it, or this is something that I'm using. And they used to use WhatsApp, find chefs on WhatsApp. So we knew there were pockets of demand sat around. And after we did
that.
around like 40, 50 of those bookings, literally manually, finding the chef, finding everything, patching everything together on WhatsApp, we were like, right, maybe we should build the first version of a no code website and actually get this up and running and see how that
Mm-hmm.
does. Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously at that stage as well, you were just sending the chef to people's houses.
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
exactly.
so
It was pre our vacation rental. It was like you want to book on your own home for you and your wife for meal prep, or like for dinner with like a couple of friends.
yeah, interesting. But wasn't that idea already? Hadn't that already been done in the past? I mean, I thought that kind of concept was nothing new.
You know, great point. And we thought the same. And the reason we started this is because we couldn't find something in London that wasn't like extremely bougie. Everything felt very like 6 course, fine dining or like fine dining chefs, but maybe just being from India and China, we just wanted like casual food, or we just wanted something great, like maybe a Mexican or maybe Italian, three course, simple. And I think
Yeah.
that sort of matching did not exist at our price points. So I think what we were looking for was like a tech forward platform, which gives us more choice and actually flexibility. So a lot of platforms were instant book. Like you see 5 menus, one is French, one is 7 course fine dining. Can you just click and book it? And I
Hmm.
just, well, I'm vegetarian. And like that doesn't fit me. And my sister has like a nut allergy. Like, how can I request all of these modifications? And I think we were listening to then slowly what other customers were also wanting. So ultimately, our product ended up developing into some place which is more personalized. It's not
Hmm.
fixed. That's not how you book a chef. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yes,
right.
right? It just didn't fit. And I think our product now is the iteration of all these little things that different customers wanted that we just kept listening to and adding into our product.
Yeah, that's interesting. So what you're saying is that you're doing by quote, so almost like uh, a plumber can't come to your house and they can't tell you up front exactly how much it's going to cost because they need to come have a look and give you a quote and that sort of thing. And you're saying the same thing, that you guys are saying, well, like you can't know exactly what you want because everything, the textures are so much different with food and with what kind of experience you want. So I take it that the client is in touch with the chef directly and saying, hey, this is what we need, and the chef gives a quote.
Absolutely. So as a customer, you say a few different things that you want and maybe a rough range of budget. After that, you hear back from a couple chefs, like few chefs, three
Yeah.
to 10 chefs, and they will personalize the menu. But then we actually find people, we built messaging because customers still wanted to chat to the chef. Then they go back and
Yeah.
forth. They can personalize the menu if they like. And only when they're happy, they've negotiated the price, do they go on and book.
Yeah, amazing. So the great thing with that is, if I think about, yeah, maybe I would want a chef, I have to go out and figure out, who these chefs are, browse all the different websites and kind of try to figure out where I'm going to go. Or you can use one of those services. So I can really see that gap that you guys have filled. So where you're sending out menus and you're sitting on WhatsApp, communicating back and forth and trying to make this product work. Then and you've got your corporate jobs, and then you're like, oh, hold on a second, let's let's raise some money. let's get serious about this. How did that next part of your journey go?
Yeah, so actually we did bootstrap in the beginning. And I think as like a really early founder, it's kind of chicken and egg. Like, who's going to give you money if the product isn't fully working and you're not getting that much revenue? So we decided to quit our jobs, which was a bit of a leap of faith, but we decided we could come back to it if we needed to. After that, for the next sort of 1 year and through COVID, we literally sort of built a platform. We kind of tried, and then obviously we got a lot of like feedback, which wasn't great. Like our chef recruiting wasn't on point. We were going to kitchens, getting chefs, but then we realized there has to be a certain tier at which you find the right chef. Like
Yeah,
like a very
sure.
that watches utensils isn't the right chef. You kind of need like higher than a sous chef at the minimum, and you need to validate the chef is good. So we had all these different learnings we were having, and we were totally bootstrapped, and that was about a year. And then we did sort of Dragon's Den, and that was the year where things were like then slowly started working. It's like we got one customer and we were like, where does this customer come from? We had no idea. And it blew my mind. I was like, we need to do this again and again. Like, find a customer
Yeah.
that's not a friend. And I think that's
Yeah.
when our company really started because we started getting feedback that wasn't friends and family, which is actually
Yeah.
can be really terrible
Yeah,
because they
sure.
just either they're very nice to you or they're very mean. So I
Yeah.
realized we had to get to the point where we had people booking us that didn't know us, and then we
Yeah.
just got real feedback. Yeah. So that was
Yeah.
about like 7 months.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. Okay. So and then so it sounds to me that the Dragon's Den part of your story was quite early.
Yeah, it was. It was actually 2021, right as COVID ended, Dragon's Den aired, and there was suddenly all these people visiting our website, and it was amazing because we had all this sort of marketing spend that we couldn't have afforded back then. And
Yeah.
and yeah, it's then that we raised around privately with angels and customers and friends because we were like, right, we kind of know what's going on. We have some real customers. revenue was growing. I mean, like now those numbers seem so small, but they were at least going in like an upward direction. And we were learning
Sure.
things. Yeah. So that's when we raised one round.
Yeah, so it's really interesting, and this is part of the founder's story and journey. And Dragon's Den, for you, it was a catalyst, and you had a lot of different catalysts along your journey. One was the spreadsheets and validating at least whether there's anyone is one thing. Putting out an idea to your mates. The other one is actually getting them to spend some money, right? So they're spending a bit of money. You're like, all right, cool, we're halfway there. Then you go through a program to start to put together your product and that sort of thing. Then you go on to Dragon's Den, at which point that's the catalyst to, hey, hold on a second. We're great. We're good enough to be able to get on the show, show our product. They like the product. We've got people coming to our website. We feel confident enough to go and ask people, even friends and family, people that you're going to have to sit around the dinner table with later on. They're going to be asking, how things are going, and you're going to go, well, you've got their money. So the Dragon's Den part, whose idea was it to go on it, and what was the kind of angle for you guys to go on it, considering you guys were quite like you said, a very small business at the time in comparison to where you are today?
Yes, actually, I think that was the reason. Like, we were just sat around COVID because after we quit our jobs, COVID happened. And we were like, well, that was a weird timing to quit our jobs. And then through COVID, we just looked at each other. We were like, we just have to say yes to every single shot that comes our way. It doesn't matter. And that's when like someone emailed us about Dragon's Den. They were like, oh, you're a new company. Do you want to come on? And Jaime and I were like, yes. We didn't even think whether we'll make it through the whole process, which is a very long process. But we were just like saying yes to every single shot that came our way. Like,
Yeah,
like,
right, gotcha.
like something will work as long as we just keep saying yes, 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 and do all the hard work.
It's really interesting when you're a founder and when you're putting together or you're trying to figure out what to do, right? I think COVID had its benefits where you have had a bit more time than you normally would in the kind of real world and real life, and you have to decide on where you're going to put your energy and your focus. And considering you guys didn't have jobs and you were co-founders, you're like, we'll just try absolutely everything. And that one was a good journey for you. And I imagine that in terms of your own mind, it would have been a huge validator for your idea and your concept that you could get all the way through to actually production on the show.
Yeah, I think it was, but I also think, to be very honest, they're making a show and they're trying to have like fun founders that can kind of make some reality TV look fun, and the business idea kind of made sense. But what we knew was we still had to build a business where people will continue paying us. So our hope with Dragon's Den really was, so I don't think we were excited we made it on, but the hope really was when people see this, will they then go visit our website and click
Yeah,
buy, because only at that point have we done the right thing, for our business.
sure. And they did.
I would say not as much as we expected. And that's like the founder story. You immediately, like, we just thought, oh my God, instantaneously, because they promised us like 1 to 2 million viewers. We were like, amazing, we're going to be rolling in revenue. And then we realized, oh, it's a bit more of a considered purchase. So our traffic increased and it stayed elevated ever since, but the buying didn't pick up immediately. And then
Yeah,
and then we realized, wow, actually, when a customer understands about Y-Hangry, they think, oh, it's a birthday or something else, and they end up booking 4 to 5 months later. So that was
yeah.
the very first lesson where, okay, immediate PR does not convert into revenue. You have to understand your lead time. So yeah, all the best.
Did you have a lead magnet on your website at the time?
We did. There was a little annoying pop-up that would be like, hey, here you go, give us your email for 10 to 20% off. And we did
Yeah,
capture emails, yes. But
yeah.
obviously, we hoped that people were just stuck there booking chefs, which didn't materialize immediately. No.
That's awesome. And I mean, like all of these things, they just add together, right? If you think about that sort of stuff from a marketing perspective, as recognition. So you'll rank higher on Google just because you've been on a TV show which has been broadcast nationally. But then you've got also all your AI tools as well. Now they recognize you for your name and your brand. All right, we've got only a few minutes left, and I really want to go into the short-term rental side of things and the accommodation side of things, because it's you guys have been doing it for a year. You're in the UK. You've got 5,000 chefs in the UK right now. In the US, it's quite new, and you've got thousands of chefs that are on the platform already, and many more joining. So that's really exciting. And we talked, and you've got like real ambitions for bringing the product across the world. Now, I don't want to spend too much time focusing on the benefits of the experience of having a chef and the marketing, all that kind of stuff. There's a huge uplift to it, and I think that people that are listening should understand that. What I'm really curious about, if we think about your territories and your growth, and maybe what would be cool actually is if you could just give us a quick idea as to why it took you so long to get into the short-term rentals, and how you see that panning out over the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, think that makes a lot of sense. Thank you for the question. Why it took us so long? I guess like as a founder, yeah, like what we were doing was every single whatever month, quarter, etc. We'll just try to grow our bookings and then evaluate what's going on and where we should double down. So last year in 2024, I was looking at our data and I was like, right, where are the bookings coming from? What's the next marketing channel we should go big in? And then it blew my mind that 55% of our bookings were coming from holiday homes. And at that point, I didn't know what vacation rentals or STR meant. And I
Mm-hmm.
just thought, oh my God, instead of paying Google for this customer, should I be going out to this holiday home and partnering with them? They should just tell the customer and they can get
Mm-hmm.
money and I can get money. So it was like very rudimentary. And then I started Googling, like, how do I find holiday home owners or holiday homes or Airbnbs and all this stuff? And that's when I sort of discovered the STR and vacation rental industry, went to a couple conferences. So I think that was like my entry and foray into why I should even bother, because my own business was saying this is happening. And I think
Mm-hmm.
we're still like, like we're just a year in. UK has gone well, but it's us, figuring out how best we partner with all of these property managers, etc. Because our other alternative is just paying Facebook and Google for these guests, which
Yeah.
seems a little counterintuitive.
Yeah, no, I think that makes complete sense. And one of the things that I'm picking up through this whole journey of yours, and I know that we've accelerated it so that we're trying to give as much value as possible. You looked at your data. As simple as that. You didn't know what you didn't know. You looked at your data. You went, hold on a second. This is happening here. We should make some moves and see if we can do things differently. And that's how businesses generally survive and they do well, is if they're listening to what's happening in the market and be able to adjust. Which is what you're doing right now. And I'm sure there's going to be lots of adjustments as you go, as you figure out this marketplace and figure out what's going to work. And, whether in the short-term rental space, you do need to have more packages or not in terms of your offering. So that'll be really interesting. Look, are there any final bits of advice that you give to anyone looking to follow your footsteps and start their own startup within the hospitality space?
I laugh because in Dragon's Den, I think one of the dragon was literally said no to us because she just said Deborah meet, and she was like, I've invested in hospitality once or twice, I've been burnt, never again. So I think it's really
Yeah.
funny once you're in hospitality, how do you tell someone else, yes, do it? But no, I would say I've been blown away by how people do come together in the hospitality space. And it is a industry with a lot of heart, but beware, it is hard. Like nothing is easy. It's not an online tech business. You really have to think of people, not just tech. So I guess like my biggest advice there would be go for it. Like we've had a great time. Just make sure you're going to have low lows, high highs. And I think you just have to be crazy optimistic to start this and just believe you're going to make it happen. But when you do, you'll find some amazing people along the way that will help. like Bart, you're one of them. So yeah, just
Not
yeah.
me. I'm just a guy, a little guy in Australia. Look, Siddhi, I'm gonna follow your journey. I hope that we do get to connect a lot through over the next few years. I'm excited because I'm really conscious of the fact that you've got a huge amount of stuff that you've already built, but it's so cool because there's all this new stuff that you're gonna have to figure out along the way. So this is just part of the journey that you're on right now, and I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how it all maps itself out. There's no doubt in my mind from a property manager's point of view, this is an easy no-brainer to sort of get involved in that sort of thing, especially if you're in the higher end space, or if you've got lots of properties, you can add this as a service. All the apps now, you can do upsells and stuff, so that's what you should be doing. Look, I wish you a good evening. And folks, by the way, if you are tuned in on the Spotify, make sure that you leave us a follow. If you're on iTunes, then leave us 5 stars. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the show. What we're going to do is we're going to put all the links below. We'll put a link to the YouTube so you can jump on and have a look at the Dragon's Den episode as well. And then Y-Hangry it is, so the link will be there. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Bart. You're a legend. I had a great time.